Would you like to have all your debts forgiven? We heard this week in the news, the government decided to forgive the debts, the student loans. Some people like it. Some people are upset. They think it's not fair. We're not going into the politics of it. But ideally, would be a nice thing, wouldn't it? Forgive all the debts. A good Erev Shabbos, my dear friends. This week is Parshas Re'eh, and it is Shabbos, ROSH, CHODESH, ELUL. We begin the last month of the year when the king is in the field. God is close to us. And it is not just a regular year, it is a year of Shemitah, which means a holy sabbatical year. Every 7 years, a holy year. And this year, Shemitah, is even more special than most other Shemitahs. Why? Because it is a leap year, which means that instead of having only 12 months of holiness, we have 13 months of holy. And that's where we begin now the Shabbat, the 13th month of holiness. And one of the things what happens in this Shemitah year, we read in this week's Torah portion, that this is the year that makes all loans forgiven. Let's see it inside what the Torah says. Miketz Sheva Shanim Tasa Shemitah. Every 7th year, you shall practice remission of debts, as the Torah goes on to explain in details. So, according to Jewish law, if you lend money, comes the 7th year, the loan is forgiven. What happened? Jews stopped lending money. And the rabbi saw that this was a problem. People needed money. Nobody was able. People didn't want to lend because the loans is forgiven. So they found a solution. Because the Torah says, private loans cannot be forgiven. But the Beis Din, if you give over the loan to the rabbinical court, they are able and allowed to collect the loan even after the Shemitah. So that's what they did. The people give over their loans to the court, and the court collects it, and that's how they were able to continue lend money and to collect after Shemitah. So the Rabbi teaches us a very powerful lesson in the spiritual sense, the concept of lending and forgiving of the debts. Says the Rabbi, it says in the Pirkei Avot, the Ethics of the Father says, our life, we have our life as a loan from God. That says in the Pirkei Avot, Chanut Petucha, the store is open, the storekeeper gives credit, and everything is written down, and we need to pay the credit. We need to pay the loans. Meaning, God gives us money to be able to do the right thing. To raise a family, according to the Torah, to give tzedakah, and He gives us days, He gives us life. We should do the right things with our days, with our life. And then time comes, and you need to collect. God gives us credit, but then He wants to see the results. Did we do with our lives everything what we need to do? Or maybe we owe some debts. And we are humans. We make mistakes. But God, out of His kindness, He gave us the 7th year to forgive the loans, to forgive the debts. However, God follows the laws that He tells us to do. He follows Himself. So God says in the Torah that the Beis Din is able to collect the debts. That means the rabbinical court is able to collect. We have also a rabbinical court up there. And this Beis Din Shalmaila, the rabbinical court, is looking at us and is asking us to give us a report. Did we do the right things with what we have? And the rabbinical court is able to collect even in the year of Shemitah. Even if all debts are forgiven, they can still collect. And the question is, what do we do? How do we get our debts forgiven? And the answer is, says the Rebbe, there is one trick, what you can do. God does exactly what you do. If you follow the strict laws and you go only by the book, then the Beis Din is judging you by the book. But if you go beyond the law, you do more than you have to. You don't say, okay, I need to give 10% of my income, I'm going to collect, I'm going to make the cheshbon, exactly 10% I give tzedakah. If you do exactly the way you're supposed to do, then the rabbinical court up there is also looking at you saying, okay, let's see, what are the debts that you have? But if you say, no, I'm not doing exactly, I'm going more. I need to study Torah according to the laws, a certain amount, I'm going to do more. Someone offended me, I'm going to be quiet, I'm not going to answer him. I'm going to go beyond. When you go beyond the call of the law, then Hashem also takes out your debts from the court, and it becomes Hashem's personal debt. And then Hashem forgives us completely. And this is the best way to receive a bracha from Hashem. The blessed it should be a ksiva v'chasim ateva, a good gebenchte year for us, for all of us. And it should be the year, as we are entering now the Shnas Hakel, the year of gathering, that we should all be gathered in Yerushalayim together with Mashiach, very soon. Amen. Have a wonderful Shabbos and a good Chodesh.